What's going on, everyone? Sports back with another video, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the newest trade that the Toronto Maple Leafs made yesterday that was acquiring Capitals defenseman Joel Edmundson, who of course a lot of us know from when he played on the Montreal Canadiens. When the Leafs played the Habs in the playoffs a couple of years ago, he was a disaster, a very tough player against us, and right now he's 30 years old, so I think it's a really good pickup by the Leafs. I think they're getting a solid, big body, net front present defenseman in Joel Edmundson, who is, of course, he's on an expiring deal, but I really like it. They're getting him, of course, at 50% retained, so he's really cheap, and he's done a really good job throughout his career. He's won a Stanley Cup, of course, with the St. Louis Blues, and I love the pickup. He's a big defenseman. He's 6'5". He clears the front of the net, and he's that guy that the Toronto Maple Leafs have been lacking, and they really could use. So I like the trade a lot. Of course, he is on an expiring deal, so we'll get into what this may entail for beyond this season. But the Leafs gave up a third-round pick this year. The one belongs to the New York Islanders, and then a 2025 fifth-round pick from Chicago that was likely for the salary retention. So I think at a very good price they got Joel Edmundson, and for 2/3, a fifth, and a sixth, they got Ilya Lyubushkin and Joel Edmundson both at 50% retained. So I love both of those trades. Of course, I didn't make a video on the Ilya Lyubushkin trade, but my small thoughts on that. I really like that trade as well. I liked him as a Leaf. I wanted the Leafs to keep him. Of course, he went for the money. He'll probably do the same in the off season. I don't imagine that Lyubushkin will be back next year, but who knows? Maybe the Leafs really like him and pay him. But Joel Edmundson, on the other hand, I could really see him coming back to Toronto next year. He's a guy who, for 3 years at 3.5, I think makes a lot of sense. I think for him to kind of settle down with a contender, a team that'll use him, I think could make sense for him as well. Of course, he's a left-shot defenseman, and, he's a big guy. He's a big body. In front of that net, we know, of course, with Montreal, he was giving us a hard time. He was giving Matthews a hard time. He's just giving everybody a hard time. And when you have a 6'5" defenseman, that's usually the case, and that's usually what will happen. So I like it for the Leafs. And I do think that today, deadline day, there will be more moves to come. Because if there weren't more moves to come, I don't think Tree Living would have got 50% retained for the extra fifth-round pick. I think he would have left it as is, just for the third. Edmundson's a good defenseman for the Leafs because he has a lot of physicality. And I think him and Jake McCabe would be a good potential pairing when, with keeping Lyubushkin with Riley. And then, ultimately, we don't know if Liljegren and Brody will be here past today, but, between them two and Benoit, as the roster is right now, I would probably put Benoit with Liljegren, but that's something that, is not for right now because we still have 6 hours till the deadline, and the Leafs are probably, like I said, going to make another move. But I really like this Joel Edmundson trade. We didn't have to give up a lot. Third and a fifth so minimal. And you're getting a 6'5" defenseman who's been to the playoffs before. He's won a cup. He knows what he's doing. He's a good veteran. He's 30 years old on an expiring deal. But I definitely think that the Leafs can re-sign him, and I hope they do because I really like Joel Edmundson. I wanted actually the Leafs to sign him back when he was a free agent last. When he signed that deal, I think he got 4 years, 3.5, something in that ballpark. But for Toronto, I think. If they could sign him for 3 or 4 years this offseason at $3 to $4 million, I think it would make a lot of sense. Joel Edmundson's going to bring the grit. He's going to bring some physicality. He's going to clear that front of the net. And a lot of Leaf fans will like him and want him back next year. So we'll see ultimately in the offseason, of course, what the Leafs decide to do with Edmundson beyond this season. I think there's a very good chance, though, and a pretty good possibility that he is here beyond this season. But that's, of course, a topic for the offseason. But as for this trade, I like it, and I like the Lyubushkin trade as well. I like what the Leafs are doing here. I would like to add one more and possibly another forward, but we'll see what today, what True Living has in store for us today. It's going to be an exciting day, and I'll have you guys covered. You guys let me know down in the comment section your thoughts on this Joel Edmundson trade. The Leafs trade 3rd and 5th to get Edmundson at 50% retained from the Washington Capitals. Like I said, hopefully the Leafs can sign him beyond this season, but we'll see in the offseason. You guys let me know all that good stuff down in the comment section. As always, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. We'll see you guys on the next video. And as always, go Leafs, go.